I want to talk to you today about attachment theory. I just found out about it. I was out to dinner with these ladies that I met at this business class, and we were networking, and one woman talked about how she's in therapy now because she had intimacy issues, and the therapist told her that her intimacy issues were but a symptom, that the problem was her attachment disorder. And the therapist told her she had a reactive attachment disorder. So what is attachment theory? I did my own research, and this is what Wikipedia says. It says, attachment theory describes the dynamics of long-term relationships between humans. Its most important tenet is that an infant needs to develop a relationship with at least one primary caregiver for social and emotional development to occur normally. Attachment theory explains how much the parent's relationship with the child influences development. So, it's here where if a person didn't experience secure attachments growing up, they may have an underdeveloped ability, really, psychologically, to secure attachments or an affectional bond with another adult. Now listen to the 4 types of attachments that an individual could have experienced. The first one is the secure attachment. Okay, the secure attachment. The caregiver responds appropriately, promptly, and consistently to needs. The caregiver has successfully formed a secure parental attachment bond to the child. The child with the secure attachment uses caregiver as a secure base for exploration, protects caregivers or protests caregiver's departure, and seeks proximity and is comforted on return, and then because they're comforted, they seek to explore again. The avoidant attachment. The avoidant attachment is when the parent gave little or no response to distress, discouraged crying, and encouraged independence. The child responds to an avoidant parent with little effective sharing and play, little or no distress on departure when the parent leaves, little or no visible response to return, ignoring or turning away with no effort to maintain contact if picked up. Treats the stranger similarly to the caregiver. The child feels that there is no attachment. Ambivalent or resistant attachment. That is inconsistent between, this is how the caregiver responded. This is the 3rd type of attachment a person could have. And the caregiver had been inconsistent between appropriate and neglectful responses, generally will only respond after increased attachment behavior from the infant. The child responds to ambivalent resistant attachment by being unable to use caregiver as a secure base, seeking proximity before separation occurs, distressed on separation with ambivalence, anger, reluctance to warm to caregiver and return to play on return, preoccupied with caregiver's availability, seeking contact but resisting angrily when it is not achieved, not easily calmed by stranger. In this relationship, the child always feels anxious because the caregiver's availability is never consistent. The last form of attachment is the disorganized attachment. The caregiver is frightened or frightening behavior, intrusiveness, withdrawal, negativity, role confusion, communication errors, and maltreatment, very often associated with many forms of abuse towards the child. That is called disorganized. The child becomes, this is when a child will start freezing or rocking. I've seen an adult woman rock. I've seen her do that. I've seen people rock like that as adults. Lack of coherent attachment strategies shown by contradictory, disoriented behaviors, such as approaching but with the back turned. That's how a child will respond to a caregiver who loves it in a disorganized ways. It says infants form attachments if there is someone to interact with, even if mistreated. And individual differences in the relationships reflect the history of care as infants begin to predict the behavior of caregivers through repeated interaction. So it says that insecure attachment patterns are non-optimal as they can compromise exploration, self-confidence, and mastery of environment, but they're also adaptive. So a lot of times it says about 65% of children in the general population may be classified as having secure patterns of attachment, with the remaining 35% being divided among the insecure classification. The good news is that Jesus heals the brokenhearted. And I think that when a person's attachment is insecure, or they come from insecure attachments, I really do believe that it can break somebody's heart, and it can create a depression that is fathomless. But the therapist says that what is necessary in order to get over this is the person needs to grieve the bonds that they never achieved with the original caregiver, and to, let the pain of that come up and out, so that they can then redefine the type of secure attachments they want to be attracted to as an adult. God bless you.